Splatoon 2 is one of my favorite games on the Nintendo Switch. While some of the modes do get repetitive after a while, the game is always fun to go back to. My favorite part of the game must be the overall gameplay, and the weapons are a major factor that play into it. This list is a little complicated because my favorite weapons are also the weapons that I'm the best at. So, this list is a mixture of my favorite and my best weapons. And to give this list as much variety as possible, I will only be counting one type of each weapon. As an example, if my favorite weapon is the Splattershot Jr., then the custom Splattershot Jr. cannot be on this list. By the way, both weapons that I just listed are not on this list. Anyway, with all that being said, let's just get on with the list. I enjoy the Splat dualies. Most of them provide a wider spread of ink than normal shooters, and the dodge rolling mechanic is a great addition. My favorite kind of dualie is the custom dualie squelchers. Surprisingly, this weapon has a pretty good fire rate. The dodge rolls on this weapon are very fast too, and they do not have a lot of end lag. But what this weapon really shines at is its range. I love the range on this weapon. It really makes it stand out from the other dualies. While it does take a few shots to take out someone, you can easily hit them from a far distance and roll away, so you don't get hit. I like the custom versions better because it comes with the Splat Bomb and the Ink Storm. My favorite sub-weapon is the Splat Bomb because it explodes pretty quickly and the blast radius is pretty big. It is a good weapon to push opponents away, which is why I like it a lot. The Ink Storm is a great special weapon because it is also used to push opponents away from a specific area, or else they will become very vulnerable and possibly even die. Overall, the dualie squelchers are a pretty good weapon in my opinion, and I like them a lot. When you first play with this weapon, you're probably going to think that it is absolutely broken. But the more you play with it, you'll see that it is fairly balanced. The .96 gal is an absolute monster. It has incredible range, and the shots are very powerful. It only takes 2 direct hits to kill someone. But it does have 2 weaknesses. The fire rate is very slow for a shooter, and the Inkling's movement when shooting is incredibly slow. But that doesn't matter a lot because this gun is just so much fun to use. The sub-weapon is a Sprinkler, which is just okay. But the special weapon is Ink Armor. Ink Armor is fantastic, especially in ranked battles. Being able to completely avoid a hit is very useful in an intense battle. When I first used the .96 gal, I was really good with it. But as time went on, I didn't use it as much. But it is still a lot of fun to use. While this weapon's range is incredibly narrow, it only makes the kills feel more accurate and powerful. The Neo Splash-O-Matic is a weapon that requires extreme precision. The shots are not that powerful, but if you have the aim down, this weapon can be brutal. The sub-weapon is just a burst bomb. While it doesn't take up much ink, it is harder to kill with. But the combination of a hit with a burst bomb followed up by 1 or 2 quick shots from the Splash-O-Matic makes for a really decent strategy. The special weapon is a Suction Bomb Rush. This is a very good special weapon because it is a useful tool for pushing people out of the way. While it doesn't complement the main weapon that well, it is still great. Like the .96 gal, or .96 gal, however you want to pronounce it. When I first used this weapon, I enjoyed it a lot, and while I still do, I have found some more weapons that I have enjoyed as well. When it comes to using the Hydra Splatling, I either get killed or get a lot of kills. My win-loss ratio with this weapon is about 50-50, but that doesn't matter because this is an absolute beast of a weapon and it is so much fun. The charge time is incredibly long, but the range, fire rate, and overall power is amazing. You could be at a sniping position with this weapon and still get plenty of kills. The sub-weapon is the Auto Bomb. It unfortunately doesn't fit this weapon very well, but it is still a decent tool. The special weapon is the Splashdown. While you might think that this doesn't fit either with a weapon, it can be helpful if somebody tries to sneak up on you, when you're in a sniping position that is. Just bringing out the splashdown to trap them or force them away is a very useful strategy. Out of all the weapons that transitioned from Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2, this is the only one that I still enjoyed playing. Back when I first found this weapon, I instantly fell in love. And while I still love it a lot, there are a few other weapons that I enjoy better. If you haven't already noticed, that's the case for most of the weapons on this list. When I first discovered them, I become really good with them, but as time goes on, I lose the skill that I previously had with them. But anyway, the Tensatech Splatter Shot is a really basic shooter, but that's what makes it so fun. It has average range, average fire rate, and average widespread. But because everything is mostly average, it balances out the weapon very well. The sub-weapon is the Splat Bomb, which I already talked about, and as I said, it's my favorite sub-weapon. And the special weapon is the Inkjet. Now, I'm absolutely terrible using the Inkjet, but it is still so much fun to use. When you get a kill with it, you feel powerful. That's all there really is to say about the Tensatech Splatter Shot. Average, but really fun to use. Something about the Rapid Blaster Pro just fits me. I do not know what it is, but this weapon feels like a weapon that I would use. While the shots are not that powerful, it only takes 2 direct hits to take somebody out. The range also makes it easy to hit people, and the fire rate complements the weapon very well, hence the name Rapid Blaster. Toxic Mist is my least favorite sub-weapon. At least from my point of view, it doesn't seem very effective, but the special weapon is the Ink Storm, which is very useful. My favorite weapon in Splatoon 1 is the Luna Blaster, and while I don't like it in this game, the Rapid Blaster Pro is a good replacement for it. I'm a pretty big fan of the .96 Gal, but I'm a huge fan of the Kenza Splatter Shot Pro. While this weapon has less range and power than the .96 Gal, the fire rate and the movement speed when shooting is a lot better. This weapon also feels a lot more accurate than the Gal. The only thing that I don't like about this weapon is that each shot uses a lot of ink. The sub-weapon is the Splat Bomb, which is always great. The special weapon is the Booyah Bomb. This is my favorite special weapon in the game. Not only does it basically let you throw a splashdown wherever you want, but if your teammates help you charge up the bomb, then their special gauge gets filled up a bit as well, which is amazing. The Booyah Bomb is just an overall great special weapon, and it fits the Kenza Splatter Shot Pro really well. So, Fortnite. I love the snipers in Fortnite. I do not like the snipers in Splatoon, but the E-Liter 4K scope has the right amount of range and power that I need in a weapon in order to be good with a sniper. This weapon has the longest range in the game, which is only a plus. The charge time is a little long, but once you get a snipe, you feel like an absolute legend. The scope also helps a lot, at least for me. The sub-weapon is the Ink Mine. This is another one of my favorite sub-weapons. I also like that it activates the point sensor ability if someone is caught in it. The special weapon is the Ink Storm, which is also great. I do not like any other snipers / chargers in Splatoon 2, but there is something about the 4K scope that just resonates with me. I guess I caught everybody lacking in 4K. I honestly don't know why there aren't more rollers on this list. I guess I just prefer shooters more. But the Foil Flingza roller is something that I can mess with. And when I say mess with, I mean demolish the competition with. This roller has great range, especially on vertical swings, fast movement speed, and a decently fast horizontal swing. The vertical swing has a lot of startup lag, but it is a great sacrifice for the amount of range that it has. The sub-weapon is the Suction Bomb. While it takes a while to explode, the blast radius is big and the fact that it can stick to almost any surface is really good. The special weapon is the Tenta Missiles. Whenever I'm ready to use the Tenta Missiles, I super jump back to the spawn area and use it there. I'm usually able to hit everybody from the other team because for most of the maps, the spawn area has a great view of everything on the map. Out of all the rollers in Splatoon 2, the foil flings roller is my favorite, and will most likely always be. Out of every single weapon in Splatoon 2, I never expected this one to be my favorite. When I bring out this weapon, I am not somebody to be messed with. I am a death machine. If you get near me, you're asking to lose. You could say that I am carried by this weapon, and my response is, you're right. So, what could this weapon possibly be? Well, it is none other than the Tri-Slasher Nuveu. This weapon is perfect for me. Besides snipers, my type of playstyle is to get up in your face and do as much damage as possible. With this weapon, I am that playstyle. While this weapon doesn't have good range, the sheer power of each hit and the rapid fire rate makes this weapon an absolute beast. The sub weapon is the Splat Bomb, which is my favorite, and the special weapon is the Ink Storm, which is also excellent. Almost every round that I have used this weapon, I usually get the most kills out of everyone playing. This weapon just suits me perfectly, and whenever I bring it onto the battlefield, I channel a certain energy in me, and I pretty much go Super Saiyan. Anyway, with all that being said, that's gonna do it for this video. I wanted to make this video now considering that Splatoon 3 will come out next year. What did you think of my list, and what are your favorite Splatoon 2 weapons, or Splatoon 1? We just passed 100 subscribers, so I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Let us get to 200. You don't have to, but it would help me out more than you could ever know. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, and night.